Hello everyone. So today we will be seeing what is web application pen testing, and we will also see like how to do the pen testing as a real world application security engineer or a product security engineer or a pen tester. So there are different rules that we can consider for a pen tester. So in this session, what we will be covering is we will learn how like professional pen testers do these do the pen testing on the web application, and also we will find the vulnerabilities. We will perform a demo on the IDOR. This is insecure direct object reference vulnerability. So that also we will understand the theory of that. Then we will do it practically. So I will be using the tools here, Burp Suite, for doing this pen testing. And coming to the application which I am taking, it is OWASP Juice Shop. It's an open source application, open source vulnerable application. So we can use that and test the IDOR vulnerability. Not only IDOR, we will also do some application mapping, and we will understand what are these terminologies and all. I will try to explain it as basic as possible. So firstly, today's agenda is what is pen testing. Okay, so pen testing, uh, so let's see the agenda first. So there are certain agenda, like what is pen testing, we will be seeing why organizations perform penetration testing, that we will understand what is the real world pen testing, also we will be seeing. And also we will understand the juice shop application, because before performing the pen test you need to understand what is the application, what is the business logic of the application, what are the different functionalities of the application, so that we will understand. Then we will try to map the application, like just kind of a reconnaissance. So reconnaissance is nothing but just seeing what is the application about. Okay, so then coming to, we will take one vulnerability, that is IDOR, because it's widely seen vulnerabilities in the OS top 10 as well. So I will be not covering the OS top 10, so that will be covered later or for when we go more in depth. For now, like we will see this vulnerability, and also I will try to demonstrate like IDOR vulnerability on the OS Juice Shop using the Burp Suite tool. And we will also see how to report the finding in the reporting, like in the pen test report, to the application owner or the developer whom we will be sending that report to. Then I will also provide some tips around this for the beginners who will starting, like who will be doing the pen test in future for them. So for that we need to understand like what are the prerequisites of. So we also need to see some prerequisites, because pen testing is little bit a very technical task, and to understand that we need to know some concepts before that. So that is client server model. So basically the all the application runs on this type of model. So what is client server model? So client server model, let me take the notes and explain you how it will be. So basic, now all the applications are like using the client server model only, even if you are using any kind of application like Amazon, if you are using Flipkart. So most of them are the like, so it's a standard approach that now the application, now the teams are using. Okay, uh, what happened to this? Just wait a minute. I think there is some issue, but here I will explain you directly what is client server model. So client means, so from where the application, so from where you are accessing the application, from where you are accessing the application. Okay, assume like let's take the example of the OS Juice Shop itself. So Juice Shop, I am accessing. So I will show you the application. So I have already hosted the application on the AWS EC2 machine. So if you want how to host it, you can see some medium pages, or else you can see the few, means I can explain you in the future as well about this. But for now, just see like what is the, so where is this juice shop? So this juice shop I'm accessing with the browser, in the Chrome browser, right? So this Chrome browser is my client now. Okay, so my Chrome browser is my client. So Chrome browser is my client. And what is server? Server I have hosted on the AWS EC2 instance, right? So that AWS EC2 instance is nothing but my server. So whenever I want to request anything, okay, if I want to see the login page, I will request to the server. And so basically this happens, this is the networking concepts between the application, so of the application, of any application, how does it work? So it will be using this client and server model. So you can just request something, okay, you can just request, okay, so you can just request if you want to see the login page. What you will do, you will request to the client. You will request from the client. I mean, you will get the response from the server. Okay. You will raising the request to the client, and you will get two here, and here you will getting from the server. Okay. So how it will be, how the request will be, how the response will be, everything I will be covering in the Burp Suite explanation. And for now, so this is the prerequisite, like you need to understand, and you should also understand some other basic technologies, like what is a HTTP method, what is like terminologies, what is HTTP methods, what are the status codes, what is the request headers, what is the response headers. So these are the basic concepts that you should be able to understand. Means you should be able to learn before starting the pen test. So that also I will be covering in the future stages. So yeah. Then coming to the application, so OWASP Juice Shop, it's a vulnerable application, and it's an e-commerce platform. Okay, so if you see, this is the application. So you can see there are certain products. Okay, these products, like what you can see here more, you can see the products, you can buy the product. Okay, so what it is, it's a e-commerce application. You can just buy something from here by registering yourself, by creating an account. You can see the basket, like add to basket. You can just do the checkout of your products. Okay, so this is the application. So we will also see in depth about the application while doing the reconnaissance part. Then coming to the tools used, that is Burp Suite tool. So this is the tool that we will be using. So this also we will be learning how to use it and what are the major tabs that we will be using here. So there are certain different tabs here, and for doing the manual pen testing, how it will be useful for us. Let's see. Coming to the what is pen testing. So basically, in, let's say, if you're considering large organizations, the pen testing are mostly done uh, for the public facing applications. So we call it as crown jewel CJ applications. So those are critical applications which are facing to the public. So because there might be lot of applications, right? So doing pen test for a lot of application, it might be time taking, it may be budget issue, something. So that's why most of the companies, at least they cover the public facing application for penetration testing. Okay, so what is pen testing then? Pen testing is the process of simulating the real world attacks. Okay, so there will be an attacker who thinks with a bad idea, or so with a bad mindset. So he tried to get the sensitive data from the application. So before, when going live, okay, so before after any enhancement, if you are going for any deployment, or before you are going live to the public, you are hosting your application in the public, you have to perform this pen testing, because you need to do you need to simulate the real world attacks on the pen testing side, okay, by using this pen testing on the application to identify the weakness of your application before the attackers can exploit them. Okay, so the objective here, so everyone confuses like what is ethical hacking, pen testing, like that. So the objective is not to break the application. So coming to the industry level pen testing, it's not to break the application or unless it is intentionally. So if you want, if the let's say if the application owner or the someone who leadership says try to break the application, unless then we don't do that. But our main objective is to identify the security risk and provide the remediation, so to the developer or the application owner, such that they can patch that application before going to the deployment. Okay, then comes to why organization perform pen testing. I think I already little covered above, but let's say if to identify the vulnerabilities, that is one thing. To meet the compliance requirements before going to the development, before going to the deployment, developers or the application owners, they need to definitely meet the compliance that their application is secure from these kind of standards, OWASP top 10 or CWEs. So they need to confirm that. That's why they need to meet the compliance requirement. Also to protect the customer data. So if you see e-commerce application, banking application, any application will have the customer data. So customer data should be protected because that is the basic standard in the security. So there will be certain policies like GDPR. So GDPR is also a security standard that need to be followed. Under that criteria, so protect the customer data is one main thing. Okay, then coming to protect the business reputation as well. So if there is any kind of incident, it's a very big incident came, and if that goes to the news, there will be a lot of business loss of reputation will be happen for the business. Then improve overall security posture. So that is another point why we need to perform the pen test. Then how to do pen testing, right? That's the main thing here we are to learn. So before pen testing, you need to be a professional tester, perform several so if a professional tester, he doesn't directly go to the pen testing. So what happens is, let's say I will say the real scenario what happens. So we will request a pen test request from the application owner to do the pen test. Immediately, what we will do, we need to understand the application, right? We need to understand what is the application about. We need to see what is the business logic, what are the rules available, and some other things. So for that, we set up a call with the developer there. Okay, so to they will go on explaining the application functionalities, what are the different roles, what is the application about. So everything they will be explaining to us. So like you can see here, understand the business. So you need to, what does the application do, you need to understand that. Who are the users, you need to understand that, right? So who are the users? Are they the internal persons? Are they the public end users? Are they vendor, someone who want, let's say you have developed a machine. Okay, that machine is bought by some person, like a printer. So printer is having a software. So that software will be used by the printer owner, not the customers, right? So not the real who are getting the output of it. So printer owner, it might be a shop owner or someone. So you need to know the user also. Then what are the critical workflows in the application? So that also you need to know, like any payment workflows are there, or any basic the core functionality of the application that you need to know, because we need to spend more time on there. Then what is the, what data is sensitive, what is the data which is very sensitive in the application, that you also you need to understand. Then define the scope. So define the scope means you need to know what is the application URL, APIs. So basically pen test can be done on the production or UAT or test environment before going to the deployment. So after deployment, you will have production. Sometimes we do for production, but mostly it should be done on the UAT or any replica of the production environment. So like application URL, you require APIs if there are any, so that you require. So then out of scope, like any production database URL that you want to put out of scope, any support pages you want to put out of scope, or any third party pages that is not in your scope. So that is the vendor, someone you are using in your application, so that you don't want to perform the pen test, so that you can also mention. So this all we will getting from the application team only. Okay. Then obtain test accounts. So while explaining the application owner team will be also explain different kinds of rules present in the application. So like customer, or so one is user, customer, it might be admin, one another one is support user, someone. Okay, so each field have different authorization, right? Different same authentication level also will be different. Author sorry, authorization will level will be different for each user, depends on the which functionality should be accessed by which person. Okay. Then step 4, create. So after you getting this all right, better as a good pen tester, we can do like this: create a role matrix, like what functionality is there. And like if you take customer, let's say I will make this as support. Okay, support person. So this some support. Okay, so like this support person, so login, yes, he can log in. And customer, he can also log in. Admin also can log in. View orders, no, support person should not view the order. Customer can view the order. Admin can also view. Admin have the highest privilege access, right? Then delete orders, so they both should not do, but admin can do the deleting orders. So this is the role matrix. If you create like this, right, you will be very clear with the roles which you all have to test. Like you can just vice versa, either you can, what you can do with the support person authorization, whether you are able to do the admin. So always you need to compare with the high level high privileged role, whether a customer can do the admin task. So like that. Then now we can start with the demo. So here we will just see the application once. So this is the application. I think you understood by then what is the application by now. Then you will see the registration. This all I will cover while explaining, while doing the application mapping. So before that, I will just go through the Burp Suite basics. So Burp Suite is like a tool. Okay, it's a proxy tool. As I said, there will be client and server model, right? Between the client and the server, there will be Burp Suite. So here we are using Burp Suite. So we can use, so we are using Burp Suite as a proxy. Proxy means someone who is in the middle and listening to both the request and seeing the response as well. So this you will understand what is that in few seconds. I will show you here. So now you see this is the dashboard. So it's a basic dashboard. Mostly this will be useful for the professional Burp Suite Pro. This is the community edition. You can download it from the portswigger dot community.com. So sorry, portswigger.net. From there you can download this community edition, and you can see this is the site map. So here you will be able to see the URLs that you will be crawling now. This is the scope, and scope means you can just add the scope or out of scope, so that you can put here. Then you can see the proxy. So this is the main tab that we will be using. Let me launch the browser here. So this browser is already integrated with the Burp Suite. So it's a Chromium browser. We call it as Chromium browser, which is the Burp browser. So whatever we do in that browser, right, we can just track that here by intercepting it, or just seeing the HTTP history of that. Okay, this is one thing. And intruder and repeater you will be understanding eventually. I will just go through that. So let me just do one thing. I will just take this URL. This is the OWASP Juice Shop URL which I hosted on the AWS machine by using the Docker image. So now what I will do, I will just minimize this, and also I will just minimize this. I will put side by side with the HTTP tab here, and let's let's do one thing. I will just go on hit here. Okay, this is the application URL, right? So see, in order to get this login page, you have to send these many requests to the server. Okay, so I have hosted my server on the AWS machine, right? As I said, so here I hosted. So that AWS machine I'm accessing through mobile XTM. So it's a you can think it is like a SSH tool. So here I did the SSH. So here this I hosted here. So this is my server now. You can say. So I just do the SSH of the server by using the mobile XTM. So you don't need to think about this. Just I'm giving you like where is my server. I'm showing you. So now you see, this is the client. This is the server. So now you are sending the request and you are getting the response back. So if you just see here how many requests it sent. So this is the root request. Okay, root request. And okay, then if you see here, let's see the login. I think there is I already registered, that's why it is showing the access token to me. But let me just log out again. I will just sign out. Okay, I just logged out. Okay, so once you logged out, you will be able to see the login button. And let me just go and crawl here something. Let's see. I will just click on customer feedback. Okay, once I click on customer feedback, so it's asking me to give some details here. So I will just give good products like this, and I will give the rating of 5. And what is this? It's asking us to do the multiplication. So 8 5 ja 40, 48 ja 320. Just do this and submit it. Once you've done that, you will be able to see the post request. So what is this request, get, post and all, we will see once now. And you can also see status codes 200, 304, and some other, mostly you are seeing 304. Okay, so these are all the status requests. So now if you see, let me just maximize this. So here you can see here comment. And you, what did you comment? You have commented as good products. You don't have login, right? You was not logged in while commenting, while giving the comment. So you, it is showing anonymous. Rating is 5, captcha ID is 2, right? So now I just scroll this. Now also if I want, I can just scroll more here. What I can think about us. So if you do on crawling, you will get more pages. So about us, and help, getting help if you want like that. So it's again some other page that you will be getting loaded here. Okay, and if you want to see the basket, so for now you will be not able to see any basket because you are not logged in, right? Unless you are all logged in, you will not be able to see, because anonymous people cannot do any kind of product buying. Okay, so this is something. But let's see what is get, post, what are the status codes and all, uh, before moving forward. Like one thing, sitemap. So this is the main thing in Burp Suite. You need to understand what is sitemap. Sitemap, HTTP, what are the endpoints and API calls. Let's see that. Where will be sitemap? As I told, it will be in target, right? So in the target, you see, whenever you are doing the crawling, right, it will capture the each URLs, or each, see, profile it has captured. Again, it has captured the profile image, something files. It will be capturing REST APIs. So these are all REST. REST means it's a API, right? It's a REST is a kind of a protocol. Okay, by using that we can do the API calls. So if you see application configuration and application version, so these are admin level API. So this is one API. Basket is another API. REST basket. Captcha is another API. Products is another API. So like that you will be having user is another API. You will be having multiple APIs because nowadays everything is done using the APIs due to the microservices concept. That is different. That is another different topic, but we should also know that. And so this is sitemap. So here you can also just add the in scope URL to avoid all the other URLs if you want. So you can just select any URL. I think it is only now showing the same one URL, right? And there is no outscope URL that is defined because this is the test application. If you want to set some outscope URL, you can just keep here, like exclude from the scope. You can just add that URL here and click on OK. So that's it. So that is sitemap. Then coming to HTTP history that I show you initially, under the proxy you will be able to see all the HTTP requests which are going to the server from the client. You will be able to see here directly what is the request, what is the response, like that. Then endpoints means what are the URLs. So like this API, so endpoints could be URI or API, so those are all endpoints, so we call it as URL endpoints, like that. So API feedback, this is one endpoint. These are all different endpoints you will be able to see. Okay, depends on the different functionality, you will be having different endpoints. Then common API indicators. So if you want to see which are the APIs, like that, right? You will be able to see like this: V1, V2, API, GraphQL, REST. So like this. If you see here, REST, API. So these are all APIs only that you are calling. Then it is in usually API endpoint. So like this. These are some examples. Then what is HTTP methods? So HTTP methods are like they are used for like getting the data from the server. So or getting the data or updating the data or deleting the data. So we need to use these HTTP methods, like get data by using the read. So you can read the data by using the get method. You can create the data like whenever you are sending some, if you are creating something, as example, if you are creating your new login, like if you are registering as a new login person, you will use the post request. If you see uh, here, if you have updated something, like you have updated one feedback, so that is considered as a post request. I mean, you are creating a new feedback, that is considered as the post request. Then I will show you some more post requests while we are registering. So if you, let's say, let's do the registration once to understand. So not yet a customer, I just click on that and let's see what are the, so once we click on the user registration, and then we can just give test@test.com. I'll just give this credential as something, test@123. So you can give any credential, so there is no proper validation. We no proper check of the credentials, whether are strong or weak. So that is another vulnerability that you can consider, right? And my favorite pet I will put as dog. I'll just register it now. Okay, so once you register, you can just save it, or that's your choice. So if you now see, when I registered, so I have sent a post request. Sorry, here it will be. So there are two requests that is going to send. One is whatever the things that you have saved, right? Name of your pet, dog, and also there is another table, I think, that is security answer table, because you don't need to always go to users and check the security answers. So in the backend there is two tables, maybe means basically users are nothing, where it will be get stored in the database table only, right? So this is getting stored now. So like this, you can see username, role is customer. So you have identified one role, that is customer. There is no deluxe token, and email ID, when it was updated, when it was created, everything, every metadata is stored here. And also another request, a post request is sent. So it is also creating another security answer in another security questions table maybe, or security answers table. So in the database, instead of always seeing the users table, it will just check the security answers. So whenever you try to reset the password, right, that at that time you will be able to like understand this, means you will be able to use this security answers. You can leverage that table. So let me just log in once. So once I log in, okay, who am I, like this, a token has also received. Okay, so first thing, rest user login, right? So here you see these are the credentials. So these credentials are also showing me, like once like when it is going through post request, right, it is taking the credentials. So whenever there is any sensitive data or any new data that you are creating, so there you use the post request. Coming to put request method is used when you want to update any data. If you want to update your name, if you want to update anything anywhere in any forms or like that. Then patch means if you want to partially update. So this word don't use much. The mostly used one is these three. And delete is you delete something from the user table, or something from any other table in the database or like that. So these are the methods. Then coming to the status codes. So status code, if you have 200 means success, you are able, you send the request and you got the response successfully. 201 is you created something newly. If you see here, where is 201? So 201 is here. So because you created something newly, you registered, right, that time you will get 201. But once you, when you log in, right, you will not get 201, you will get 200. 200 means it's a success code. So you have sent the request and you got the success response. 401 means you are unauthorized. So the authentication you didn't given. Okay. So that time you will get unauthorized 401. If you see here, I think we didn't get any kind of that request yet, but in later stages we will be getting. 403 is you are authenticated, but you are not authorized to do that action. Then you will get forbidden. Then 404 is not found. The request resource. So whichever the requested thing you are, so let's say there is something you clicked, or which is not available at the server level. So then it will give requested resource does not exist. So you are requesting something that is not exist at the server. Then 500 error means something is wrong at the server. So there is nothing wrong at your end, at the Chrome side. So where you are using your application, there is nothing wrong here, no internet issue or nothing. But there is something wrong at the server side. So at that time you will be using the 500 error. You will getting the 500 error. Okay. So these are some things. Now let's create, so if you want to create a test plan for any application, you need to test the authentic first. What are the test categories that you will be having? One is authentication testing, another is authorization testing, session management testing, and business logic testing. So these are all different kinds of a testing that we will be doing. API security testing, input validation testing. So this is just to understand what we are doing next, what kind of a testing here. Today we will be seeing authorization testing, means access. Authorization is nothing but access. Authentication means who you are. Authorization means what access do you have, right? For this session we will be focusing on the authorization testing. So understand, so we will try to see IDOR vulnerability today. So before that, like I will try to just see what we can do here in the application. Okay. After login, what we are able to do, one thing, you can see the customer feedback. Okay, let's do customer feedback. Okay, previously it was anonymous, right? And let me take that request again, anonymous, where it was. Did I send it to repeater? Not yet, I think. It was API feedback, I think. So API feedback, right here. Okay, this was the request, right? I will send it to repeater. So now you will understand the repeater what it is. So let's rename this. I will just rename it as feedback page. Feedback page. Okay. So what I will do, I will just resend this. So the same feedback, the same person, and if it is getting with the same request, so let's see either it is accepting or not. If you see, so it's again creating a new feedback with the same person. So same thing like let's say it is replaying the same request. Okay, so this could be a in like small vulnerability we can consider, like you can send the same request multiple times. I can send it for 100 times and I can see the same feedback with the same person. Okay, so that's sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it might not be the actual functionality. Sometimes it could be like yeah, you can send it multiple times to the same feedback, but sometimes it could not be. Okay, so and because it is creating a new ID also here, so it is always creating a new ID when it is when we are sending the same request. Okay, so let me also do one thing. Here it is anonymous, right? Let me change it to like some Ajay and let me send it again. So it should throw the error, but it is accepting. Okay, so this is like impersonation, right? So then you can, so we can avoid the first one, maybe replaying attack, replaying the same request, but that is also some kind of vulnerability. But this we can see, you can able to modify the anonymous to Ajay and you can just send it and you are getting the response 200. Okay, okay, so this you can consider as the vulnerability. Okay, impersonation. So feedback, right? Feedback, and this is impersonation. Impersonation. So this is a vulnerability. Okay, we can put it as star. If you want, you can just go here and just key highlight this as a red because it's a vulnerability. So that while doing the reporting, we can easily able to understand. Then again, there is a rating. You can see 5 rating. So let me try to make it as 50, the same rating. It should throw the error. Let's see what it gives. So it's accepting. So there is actually only 5 rating. So 5 is the last rating point, but it is accepting 50 also. So here also you can see it's a vulnerability. It's a business logic vulnerability, right? So you can consider here again business logic vulnerability. So business logic vulnerability. You can name it as some other thing like so mostly business logic vulnerability or some broken access control. Some access control is also missing here. Something like if I cannot do this thing, right? So that is also one thing. So this is a vulnerability. Let's proceed further. There is a complaint, and you can just give a complaint here. Okay, and we can submit that complaint. This is another feature. There is photo wall, some deluxe membership, help getting, and AI chat. I think this is the new one I'm seeing, but yeah, we will see this later for now. And now we will just focus on the IDOR vulnerability because our agenda for today's session was that. And let's see, there is nothing in the basket now, right? What I will do, I will just first read the theory of the IDOR vulnerability. Let's understand that. Then we will go what it is. Then we will try to do the same thing here. We like in the demo. So IDOR stands for Insecure Direct Object Reference. So there are two terms here. One is object, another is references. Okay. In it occurs when an application exposes references to internal objects. So what is objects means I will show you in some time. And you can without properly validating user authorization. So without the proper authorization means user does not have the access to view the other person details, and he is able to view by using the objects. So what are that object? I will show you just in few minutes. By like so this is a vulnerability. Like you are able to access, let's say you have some object like my salary is my object, your salary is another object. Like there are two-person, okay, Ajay and Vijay. So Ajay is having a salary, so that is one object of Ajay, and Vijay is also having a salary, that is one object of Vijay. If Ajay is able to access Vijay salary, Vijay object, so using some reference points, so then it is considered to be IDOR. So this is known as horizontal escalation, or like you using the same level of access and getting details, like you are able to access other person details. So this is horizontal escalation, horizontal privilege escalation that you are doing. So that is also considered as insecure direct object reference. Okay, this vulnerability. Let's see example. A user A can access like orders. If like a user A can access this one. Okay, if user A changes the identifier, this is the identifier 101. So 1001 is the identifier. 1002 is another identifier. Means the next identifier, you can say the next person's ID. So if you are able to access this and gain the access to another user's data, an IDOR vulnerabilities exist. So then you can confirm the vulnerabilities exist. So what is the main point of pen testing is to find the vulnerability. So you have done here. So you can just report this vulnerability. So what is, let's do that in practical now. So you see I already registered with test@test.com. Now what I will do, I will just add this apple juice, add to the basket. Okay, once I click on add, you can see now in the basket I'm able to see the apple juice. Okay, I will just go to the juice shop now, sorry, Burp Suite. So let me just see the request here. So when you see here, so post item here, when you added that, right, you were able to see some like actually you need to see the get request, because get request is the one which will get you the details, right, will get you what are the basket items that you have. Okay, let's see here. First it was empty 304, then API quantities. Okay, then this request came, then this is another, so multiple requests will be sending. Here you see in the post request you have added a product. So once you added the product, you have got this response like success. So your product ID 1. So apple juice product ID is 1, is added to the basket 7, and quantity is 1. Okay, then what happened? Then you see this is the get request. Then when I click on this, right, basket, when I clicked on this basket, then I got this then this was the request which was sent when I clicked on the basket. Now you see you are getting product details. What are the products present in the basket? So these are the products that is present in the basket, apple juice. Okay, then you see here another thing. This is getting the user with the basket details, like this is the ID of the user 7. Okay, and you can see here this is the access token. Okay, access token will be present in each login, in each request after you log in, because this acts as the identifier who you are. To identify who you are, you will be able to you will have to use this JWT token. This is the token that we will be using for each request whenever you just crawl through the application. So now let's take this get request and see for this ID person. Okay, or for this, not for person, for basket ID 7, you are getting these details. What is the details? User ID is 25. Okay, and you are getting these are the uh, items, or these are the products that are in the basket 7. Now what I will do, I will send this to the repeater. Okay, what is this? This is basically basket item list. So whatever the list of the baskets present in that you are able to see here. Now why I said token means this token is unique for each person. Okay, so now you see, if I just change, if I send this again, what I will getting 200. Okay, I'm getting the list of products which are in this basket 7, let's say, and this is tagged to which user ID 25. Just remember this point as well. If I change this to, let's say, 2, I can change it, because this is the repeater where I can edit my request. Can just send it now. So you have got the 200. Okay, means you are able to access the basket of another person. Why I am confirming this is another person? Just scroll down. What is the user ID? It is 2. So user ID is not 25, it's 2. So this is different person basket. So if you see here, ID number is 4. Okay, this is product ID number, and name is raspberry juice. So some raspberry juice is there, that is present in this, in that basket. Some raspberry juice somewhere it will be. So it will be there, but somewhere it will be. So that product is present in this basket too. Now let me do it as 1. Okay, I'm again getting 2. Sorry, I'm again getting 200. So what that means is, in that basket also there is one apple juice, orange juice 2, sorry, one orange juice. Okay, and the user ID is 1. Okay, so what I will do now, this is the use of the repeater. You can send the repeat request multiple times. Now you just send this request to intruder. What is the use of the intruder? Now you will be able to understand. So in the intruder, what I will do, I will just select the parameter which I want to. Intruder is nothing but it can change the parameter which you select. Okay, and it will do the automation of it. You can just select 1 2 3, it go on changing the parameter. You will just see it now. Just give it as sniper attack only. Okay, means one single component you are trying to change, and then you have added this here. And what I will do now, instead of simple list, I will put numbers. Okay, from 1 to, let's take 10, 1 to 10, and step is 1. After 1 there should be 2. Not, if you I give step 2 means after 1 it will be 3, like that. It will check for like that. Then you can just off this URL encode, because I don't want my input to be encoded. Just start the attack now. Once you start the attack, it will change, like with one. First is the payload. So these are called the payloads. Okay, for all you are getting 200. Okay, means you are able to see all the products of each basket. So in the first basket we already see what are the products available. Then in the second basket you are able to see which products are available. In third basket you are able to see which products are available. Similarly, you can be able to see all the basket details. Okay, which products are there in. Some are null, so there are no products available in the basket. So this is how this is called. So these are the references. Okay, 1, 2, 3. These are ID is there, right? This ID. This ID is the reference, and these are the objects at the right hand side. Okay, these are the objects. Object of one particular user. Okay, so this is known as IDOR vulnerability. So means you have found the IDOR vulnerability. So then you can just come here and rename this tab to IDOR vulnerability, and just, if you want, you can put also star here. Just go to proxy, and this was the request, right? You can just make it highlight as red. So these are the vulnerabilities, IDOR. So now, well, let's once again go to the, so, theory. What it is? It occurs when an application exposes references. References are nothing but the IDs, basket ID, to the internal objects without properly validating user authorization. So is it validating the user authorization? No. See, the token is the same for all. It didn't change. For all basket ID with one single token, I can view all the persons because token is unique for different persons. Okay, like unique for a unique person. So this is IDOR vulnerability, and this is a demo of pen test. Okay, how it will be. I hope you got some idea now. Then, so we did the same thing, practical demonstration. And reporting, so reporting is like this. You can say report title is insecure direct object reference, and severity is high. The application fails to verify whether the authenticated user is authorized to request resources. Impact, an attacker may access data belonging to other. Recommendation, implement server side authorization validation for every object access request. Include request response screenshot and reproduction steps. I will just show you. So this is the way we need to report in the pen test report. But I have also a sample report for you. Just see this sample report, which I prepared actually for one of the POC. I did this. So you can see we need to attach the. You need to explain the SQL injection, what it is, card points, what is the severity endpoint, what is the OWASP top 10 that is match with this vulnerability, that is security misconfiguration, technical description, impact, proof of concepts also you need to give. Like you need to mention everything what it did till now with the screenshots, so that the developer can also perform the same thing, and you need to also mention the remediation. So this is how we have to send the report. So this is basic reporting I showed you now. Then coming to the tips. So some tips for aspiring pen testers are: never start testing before understanding the application. So you need to understand the application before starting with the pen test, and create a role matrix before authorization testing. So that I show you right above. You can create the role matrix like this. For each functionality, if you create that, that will be very easy for you for writing the test cases, or doing the testing while doing the testing. Understand APIs, because modern applications are API driven. So you need to understand what is API. Like, so each API is different, right? You will be having multiple APIs in the application. You need to understand that. Then use tools to assist your work and not to replace your thinking. So you need to use the tools, not to replace like you were thinking. You need to think, then you need to apply the tools. How you can do the pen test. That's the main thing in manual pen testing. Always validate findings before reporting. So you always need to validate the finding again, because before if you directly report, and it will consider as a false positive. Like you also need to do a proper validation before reporting it. Otherwise it will consider as a false positive again. You will have to do the rework, and even we will be sending the more false positive to the developers. So it will again more work for them as, and time consuming also. Think like a legitimate user first. You need to think like a legitimate user first, then you need to think like a attacker. So this is the way we can do the pen test. I hope you got some understanding, a basic understanding how to do pen test. So that's it for today. Thank you.